Welcome back, everyone. Let's kick things off with a feeling every English learner knows. You study a bunch of new words, feel great about it, and then poof, they vanish from memory days later. Julia, why is this such a universal struggle?
Honestly, Jason, it's because many learners treat vocabulary like random numbers just lists with no context. Without meaning or connections, your brain can't latch on. It's like trying to remember a phone book instead of a story.
That's such a relatable analogy. Plus, people try to cram too much 50 words a day, hoping for a miracle. But is there any evidence cramming actually helps in the long run?
Not really. Studies show cramming gives you a short-term boost, but it's like a sugar rush. You crash fast. Long-term retention needs something more like repetition and meaningful use.
Let's explore why repetition and usage are so crucial as we dive into smarter strategies. All right, Julia, what's the deal with context? Why does it make such a dramatic difference for remembering vocabulary?
Think of context as the difference between learning a word and making friends with it. When you see elaborate in a sentence like, "Can you elaborate on that idea?" you get a sense of its flavor, not just its definition.
So if I just memorize elaborate equals explain in detail, I'm missing out on all the subtle ways it pops up in real life?
Exactly. Seeing words in stories, articles, or your own sentences is like seeing a friend at different parties. You learn how they behave in every situation, which helps you remember them better.
Let's get creative about visualization. How can turning a word into a picture help you remember it?
Visualization is like giving your brain a movie trailer for each word. For example, imagine the word mountain, picture a gigantic snowy peak. That image anchors the meaning way better than a plain definition.
And if you make it personal, like picturing your phone's smooth screen for smooth, it's even more powerful, right?
Absolutely. Personal connections like that silky feeling or a funny memory turn abstract words into something your brain wants to keep around.
Let's go a bit technical now, spaced repetition. Sounds fancy, but what is it really, and why is everyone raving about it?
It's all about timing. Instead of reviewing a word every day, you space out your reviews. First after a day, then 3 days, then a week, and so on. Research shows this method is like watering a plant. Regularly, it grows stronger roots.
So apps like Anki or Quizlet take care of that scheduling for you, making it less of a guessing game?
Exactly. But you can also DIY with a notebook. Just review your new words at increasing intervals. Consistency wins over last-minute cramming every time.
Okay, let's talk about actually using the words. Why is speaking or writing with new vocabulary so much more effective than just reading it?
It's like learning to ride a bike. You can read about it, but you have to actually pedal to get it. Using new words in conversation or writing gives your brain the practice it needs to make those words automatic.
Even talking to yourself or writing a silly story with new words can help, right?
Definitely. The more senses and actions involved, the more the word becomes part of your active toolkit instead of just something you recognize on paper.
Learning doesn't have to be all work and no play. How can flashcards and gamification make vocabulary stickier and more fun?
Turning vocab into a game is like tricking your brain into learning. Flashcards let you test yourself, add funny drawings, or even use apps that reward you with points. Suddenly, study sessions feel more like a quiz show than homework.
And who doesn't love a little friendly competition, even if it's with yourself? Plus, the act of creating the cards gives you a bonus memory boost.
Exactly, making your own flashcards or scoring high on a vocab app makes the process interactive, and science says active engagement helps information stick.
Let's get silly mnemonics. How do these quirky memory tricks help learners remember tough words?
Mnemonics are like inside jokes for your brain. If you're learning gargantuan, meaning huge, imagine a giant gargoyle eating mountains. The weirder or funnier, the better it sticks because it's so outlandish.
So, basically, the more absurd the story, the more likely your brain is to remember it?
Exactly. Laughter isn't just good for the soul, it's great for memory too. Those bizarre images give your mind a shortcut to the meaning.
Let's not forget about soaking up vocabulary from the world around us. How do movies, podcasts, and music help reinforce new words?
Media is like a buffet for your brain. You get words in real-life action. Hearing words in a movie scene or song lyric not only shows how they're used, but also gives you tone, emotion, and context.
Plus, you're more likely to remember a phrase you heard in your favorite song than a random list you wrote in your notebook.
Exactly. And singing along even if you're off-key helps with pronunciation and locks the words in through repetition.
Let's turn up the fun. What are some playful techniques learners can use to lock in new words and keep their motivation high?
Word association games, storytelling, and role-play are fantastic. Make up stories using new words, act out scenes in front of a mirror, or challenge yourself to find new words in books or movies, like a language treasure hunt.
And don't forget karaoke for learning lyrics, or even drawing comics with new vocabulary. The sillier and more personal, the better.
Absolutely. When learning feels like a game or creative project, you're more likely to stick with it and remember what you learn.
We've covered a lot of DOSNO for the don'ts. What are the biggest mistakes learners make with vocabulary, Julia?
Number 1. Learning words in isolation. Without context, words are forgettable. Also, cramming giant lists or only memorizing definitions instead of usage really slows progress.
And not reviewing regularly or being afraid to use new words, those are classic traps. Mistakes are part of learning, right?
Absolutely. If you don't review, you lose what you gain. And if you only stick to easy words, you'll never expand your vocabulary. Challenge yourself, use words, and don't fear a little embarrassment.
As we wrap up, let's talk about motivation. How can learners keep their spirits high and make vocabulary practice a regular, enjoyable habit?
Celebrate small wins. Every new word is a victory. Mix up your methods, keep things playful, and track your progress. Consistency beats intensity. A little bit every day is better than a marathon once a month.
So, mix context, creativity, and review routines, and don't be afraid to make it fun. You'll build a vocabulary that actually sticks.
Exactly, Jason. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember, the more you use your words, the more they'll be there when you need them. Happy learning, everyone.